hear the vibe. Pumped up to get ready for the fight. Big dreams, one chance, be the star. I'm the winner coming out of the dark. No fear, getting ready for the ride. Yeah, stepping into the light. No limit, aim high. No limit, the price is mine.
Step out as a motivator. Let them know that the weight's up. That's how we know when we level up. Ay, that's how we know when we level up.
Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? You know we fall and we get up. Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? It's time, get up.
Back against the wall, still I'm standing tall. Know about the ball, I got my fan with me. All we know is ball to empty out the mouths. The chosen one they call, I take my fan with me. Know about it if you tell, know you're breaking codes. Want your credibility and all fall like dominoes. Can you really take a stance? All I wanna know. Need me real ones when it's time to go. Stepping in, elevator. Listen to all the haters. That's all we know when we level up. Yeah, that's all we know when we level up.
Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? You know we fall and we get up. Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? It's time, get up. I found out I'm not alone, 'cause I'm just like you. There's no failing when we fight. We're not afraid to. Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? You know we fall and we get up. Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? It's time, get up.
ESL Mobile Open is brought to you by DHL and Pay Safeguard.
Hello and welcome to the ESL Mobile Open Weekly Recap. It's week 3 and once again we are covering all the highlights from Europe, Middle East and North Africa with 5 of the top mobile esports around, each with their own rivalries, skill sets and prize pools. My name is Banks and I'm your host, and joining me in the ESL Virtual Studio is D-Man.
Yeah, welcome once again. Can't wait to get started because we have 5 action-packed games once again to bring you all up to date on.
Well, what a wild week we have had. Some of our competitors turning up the heat, others feeling a lot of the pressure. So first, what is the ESL Mobile Open? Well, firstly, it's an opportunity to play at a higher standard and even against some of the professionals in your chosen esport with loads of amazing prize pools at the end of the road. But before we crack on with our first title, let's take a quick look at the format of the ESL Mobile Open.
Welcome to ESL Mobile, the home of mobile esports. ESL Mobile is a global program designed to give you an opportunity to compete in your favorite mobile games, featuring multiple game titles taking place in 3 regions and offering 2 levels of competition. There's something here for everyone. ESL Mobile Open is the gateway to competitive play. Free to join and open to any resident of our supported regions. This is the best way for you to enjoy the thrill of victory and take your shot at winning cash prizes. Each season of Mobile Open will consist of 2 ladders, and the top competitors from each will qualify for the Mobile Open play-ins. ESL Mobile Challenge is your path to glory. If you are a top competitor in the Mobile Open play-ins, you will earn a spot in the Mobile Challenge season. The top team from each ladder will skip the play-ins and qualify directly for the Mobile Challenge season. This is where you'll have the chance to compete against the best players in your region. At the end of each season, top Mobile Challenge players will compete in the Mobile Challenge Finals to determine a winner and be crowned their region's champion. ESL Mobile is for everyone. This is your opportunity to join a diverse and growing community of players across the world and see just how far you can go.
D-Man and myself are going to be taking you through some of the best moments of the past week of our ESL Mobile Open tournaments. And we're going to kick things off with Asphalt 9, D-Man.
Yeah, absolutely. We're moving over to the Himalayas today, and that's going to be the track. And as you can see from the leaderboard, it is stacked once again. Onio at the top of the table. Jägermeister, though, a new entry that we haven't seen too much so far on the show. Of course, been doing the business, but of course, Sukti is somebody we have been putting in there. Not too surprising, Banks, to see the RPM guys, though, up the top.
Never surprising to see them there. Furfur as well from last week's ESL Mobile Open Asphalt track race. It was so good. And we've got RPM at the top of the leaderboard once again in iOS, D-Man.
Yeah, good to see Alex back on the top as well. He's a player that's been in and around in Asphalt for as many iterations as I can think of, you know, going back to like 4, 5, and 6. You know, obviously we're on 9 now, Asphalt 9 Legends, so we're a long way into it. But RPM Alex has been there, done that, literally been in every final that I can think of, there or thereabouts. So great to see him at the top once again.
It's nice to see Russ Pro up there as well, sitting currently in 4th, almost in that top 3 position. But keep your eyes peeled on this particular track because there's a lot more finer details to look out for because it's extremely narrow, the Himalayas track. And let's take a quick look at this in-app event, D-Man. Let's go.
Yeah, it is a fine track, as you say, quite a tight one. While it doesn't look it on the screen, it is actually pretty tight in the areas that really the players are looking for. As you can see, just any normal person would have gone over that ramp straight over it, but you're cutting down on airtime, so he purposely goes out to the right-hand side, gets that nice low turn, and you can see, watch just how they tend to take most of these ramps. They're going to be looking for really the lowest spin they can get, or sort of benefit from it, if you were. So here you can see, quick low one over to the left, and then pops it high again, and just keeping that boost absolutely flowing all the way.
It's the same later on in the track as well. You want to take that lower angle in order to then take the higher angle from the second boost in order to optimize the amount of nitro that you're going to get. But Jägermeister absolutely making mincemeat of this track right now. But a few errors that you may see later on in some of the other track races that we've seen from some of the people that we've got 1st and 2nd as well. Maybe a slightly different line as well. But Jägermeister, I mean, this looks flawless from where I'm standing, D-Man.
I mean, let's face it, his time is just sort of a second. Actually, not even a second. It's like half a second, 0.7 seconds of a drift. So it's a little unfair to say, you know, obviously where he's made mistakes, because, you know, 0.7 of a second is quite a slim margin for most people. But the fact is, he is up against the guys of RPM, and as you can see, both Sukti and Onio, obviously of the same team. Interesting to see just slightly different routes that they'll take. Early on is really the difference maker that we tend to spot if we look towards them. Now, as you saw in the table, Onio is at the top of the table. He is going to be the quickest, and it's such a slim margin. Like, just here, you'll see he goes for the 360, builds that boost. Look at the boost bar in comparison to Sukti. It is pretty huge, and that's just the smallest differences. Bearing in mind, the time between these two is going to be 0.4 of a second difference, so just 0.4 of a second. It's slimmest of margins where they've got to make up this time.
Yeah, taking that low, then high area of the ramp in order to do the exact same thing that Jägermeister did as well. But obviously earlier on, you saw Onio do the 360. And in order to gain that extra nitro, but you're sacrificing potential speed if you land when the 360 is not complete. That's the only issue that you could be facing. Just there, Sukti might have lost a little bit of time by edging through, by not completing the 360 before he then hits that nitro boost.
Yeah, just that smallest little tire contact, that little skid just to slow him down. You can see now, visibly, he is just that fraction of a second behind, and that's the difference. You can see both running the boost down to the end there, and it was a 1:13.965. Incredible time from Onio there. Very, very quick indeed to obviously go quicker than his teammate by 0.4 of a second.
Breaking that 1:14 mark. 1:13 is outrageously quick. And yeah, like you said, it's always good to see the RPM guys at the top of the table. They really are the cream of the crop. And what every single one of these other races, they're trying to beat them. RPM just always sitting up there. But we're going to move over to iOS now with RPM Comet to set the third fastest time, D-Man.
Yeah, it's once again. We haven't actually seen Comet, I don't think, on the show so far. I think we've sort of missed him. There's a lot of people in RPM, that's all I'm going to say, and they are all very, very good racers. There's no doubt about it. Obviously, Nilo and Alex also we're going to be seeing in a few moments. But again, there's that 360. But as you mentioned before, just hit the ground a little too hard. As my cat tries to get involved on the stream. It's always the difference of being at home, of course, and being in the studio. But yeah, just the smallest of margins, really. And again, the flip there. If you think how we saw the flips before, they were flipping almost straight onto the other flip. He hit the ground a little bit earlier, and that's really what cost him the time. And when I say cost him the time, he is 9/10 of a second adrift from Alex's time, which will be the best here on iOS.
We see as they come through tunnels, something that all of our drivers have clocked onto. You hit this ramp and then you hit this side boulder to just increase your time in the air. So basically you manage to maintain a high level of speed straight across, well, this straight, because it's a really long straight here, really narrow, so you're not going to be able to get enough wiggle drifting in, and you have to make the most of all of that nitro that you have backed up, D-Man.
Yeah, and when you're coming out of a tight section into like a long straight like that, it's really about how you've dealt with that tight section, because you need to be on the power as quick as possible, on the boost at the perfect time, because obviously when you're in a long straight, you're looking at maximum speed, and that's what you're hoping for. So if you've made a mistake, the smallest of margins before then, you can lose a lot of time. So here we see, this is going to be Nilo versus Alex, two competitors that have been at it for a very long time in iOS. Nilo did very well in the winter season tournament that we had there, joint top in that one. Obviously Alex has been looking to get a little bit of revenge. We saw him in I believe it was second place last week, wasn't he? There or thereabouts. I tell a lie, it was week one that we saw Alex up there. He was in second place in week one, but here he is, the old master, effectively delivering once again. And as you say, it was subtle differences. It's another difference of 0.4 tenths of a second, so very small differences between Nilo and Alex this time around.
You're noticing as well between RPM Alex and Nilo, it's actually to do with the nitro usage. When they're choosing to use the nitro, are you choosing to use it as you come out of a corner, or are you choosing to use it as you land off of a jump? They're actually using it very differently, and as you'll see, they'll both use that right-hand edge to stay in the air again to maintain that level of speed. But they're so tight, even though they're playing this track, they're navigating this track quite differently, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see just pinpoint accurate, using all the boost right to the end, hitting it, and visibly, of course, Alex in the lead there. And actually posted the quickest time of both Android and iOS of 1:13.914, just 0.05 of a second faster than Onio and Android.
iOS taking the lead over Android right now, but don't forget you can join the ESL Mobile Open. It's not too late, just ! sign up in the chat and follow all the instructions, and you could be competing against some of the best in the business. But we're starting to see familiarity within the names that crop up each week in the top 3. So, I mean, do you have what it takes? Come and show us. Don't forget to sign up. But next up, we have the week 3 rounds from PUBG Mobile. Don't go anywhere.
ready for it.
ESL Mobile Open is brought to you by DHL and Pay Safeguard.
We are digging deeper into the chasm of PUBG Mobile as new teams emerge in an attempt to make their mark in the pro circuit and prove why they deserve to be recognized as one of the top tier squads in this mobile esport, D-Man.
Absolutely. Lots of teams competing once again. You know, we're hitting the cap of 320 teams every single week. It boggles the mind, but that's just how popular PUBG Mobile is right now in EMEA.
Something that we're starting to see in a lot of these clips is like, do you play slow? Do you play for points? Or do you try and get kill hungry, gather as many points as you can because you've got faith in your slaying ability and you're just worried about that potential last team being positioned up somewhere better than you?
That's just it, right? I mean, obviously, you know, we've seen some huge or 20 kill games, and then some games where you can see right now it's just a 6 kill game. So just obviously we've been playing a lot more cautious and making sure you can stay alive. There is only 2 teams, so it is a straight up head to head. Actually being a 3v3 in a moment, as we see the Vin, I think it is, that's on the side there, that will get actually back on his feet. So keeping it down to a 4v3. They do get a knock at themselves. So they're going to see whether they can push around this one using obviously the exploded vehicle. Circle very much gone. We're into circle 8, so it's all about shrinking in right now. So really, who holds the pinpoint? It's hard to tell from this angle, but you can see OP just looking to try and hold as much of the center ground as possible. And got the minigun on the go here. You love to see it. The M249 doing what he can here, Gug, and that's just about the perfect weapon for this close-range battle. Soon as Skier sees one stand up, he gets knocked instantly. Didn't want to take that fight on, but GOG does manage to take him down, and OP come out on top in that one. So we move over to Sanhok now. Obviously, a lot of games, a lot of action took place. I think it was 5 matches on, I think it's Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, isn't it, or something like that. There's a lot of games. There's a lot of games, Banks, that go on.
There is a lot of games. Yes, you're right. Team rate on Sanhok. We've got 3 up right now, but just using this flaming car for cover. Hopefully it doesn't explode on him. I think it might have already gone already. It's already gone. Oh, it's already gone. We've got 3 of them up right now. 5 kills on the board. So we're looking for position. Best position possible, because 5 kills, like we've already mentioned, is just not high enough to really gather as many points as possible to put you at the top of the leaderboard.
The best thing for them is that they have the circle, and more importantly, look at this gigantic rock in the center of the circle. That is what they were after. That's what they're looking for. They have the perfect cover now. Look in the top right-hand corner. That's the minimap. That shows that they are the only team in the circle right now. They have one member off to the left-hand side there. You can see from Rain, a team that we've actually seen a couple of times on this weekly show and done very well. So they're really up against it here. But as you can see, there is a little snake somewhere out there to the right-hand side, which they've got to be aware of. They do manage to find him. It should be a simple spray down. You can see Ragnar will get that one. He does have a teammate, but he is off in the compound in the side there, and he also gets picked off. So now we're down to a straight up 3v3.
It is a 3v3 if he can get back up. Yeah, it's looking pretty solid positioning, like you've already mentioned. If they can hold them out of the circle, force the push, then they can just sit back, relax, and just manage to pick them off as much as they can. But we got a little bit of nuisance on this left-hand side rock here. He's trying to get the nades in, trying to pick off at least one of them to basically enable his teammates to push out of the blue and into this circle.
Yeah, and I just feel that R8T are just being a little apprehensive here. They've taken down the 2 teamers. They actually died out in the blue. They tried to med it up through there, and now they're going to push 3v1. Should be a simple push, and it is. And R8T get it done. So switching over to Miramar now. We're watching NT. As you can see, 7 kills so far, and they are in a 3v2 situation. They already know where one is, flanking around on the side there. They realize, look, you can see Vicious absolutely scoping up, knows exactly where they are, so it's just simply holding the angles.
It is good. Like, holding the angles is correct, but you've got to use the fact that you have one additional member of your squad still up. You've got to use this. So maybe a potential wrap like we're seeing right here from NT Vicious, pushing around this right-hand side, using the blue to just absolutely wrap his way around the right-hand side, get a better perspective to basically see if he can give his teammates some call-outs.
Yeah, just checking every angle at the moment. That's what he's looking for, trying to flank around. I'm going to think about it. If he flanks over to the right, he would have a clean angle, but then they would also have a clean angle. Okay, going to hop in the car. Now, they have the numbers advantage here, so this could be a simple case of trying to flush them out, trying to draw their attention, and judging by the way he's driving about, absolutely that's what his plan was, to try and draw them out, see if they would fire on him so they can get their positions. They had a good idea. Now they know exactly where they are as they pulled their attention to the side. And look at the spread that they have here, actually, NT. It's very good. They got one on the far right, one holding middle station, which is basically the anchor point, which allows these two. You can see on the right, in the back foreground, sorry, you can see another one flanking around. So they flanked both times, both flanked left and right. They had no chance. So great work from NT there.
That right there, D-Man, was the pincer movement. That was what they call that, don't they? A nice little pinch in order to clutch up that game. But right now we're looking at extra team kills. They have 4 on the board, 6 alive with 4 teams as well. So maybe we've got a few solos poking around out there. But stay nice and close together because there's only 2 up from Team Extra. Know someone's in that hut, so it's going to keep a beading eye on that to see if they move out. But pretty good coverage they've got right here on this corner. They're inside circle. All they've got to do is basically wait it out and see where the next circle goes. There you go, a little bit in front of them. They can nudge their way forward, but they will be out in the open. So putting themselves at a bit of a risk if they push forward immediately. So maybe hold out for the next circle. Oh, no, and they're pushing up, D-Man.
Now, they've got the ridge line, so it's kind of okay for them. It's circle centered, so you can see they realize they've still got the ridge line. They don't know what's anything to the left. Well, we can see, of course, we have the benefit of hindsight. There is nothing there. You can see his teammates over to the side. So really, it's a case of let the others fight it out while they're down there. Sure, you want to try and third party and get as much kills as you can. Obviously, you can see only 4 kills so far, so not the greatest for them. But they want to try and third party and maybe try and steal some of these kills. Looks like Vampire's just taking some damage down low. His teammate Sam's there. We've got Pikachu, would you believe it, hiding in a bush. Who'd have thought that about that? But, oh, he's going to jump on the buggy. Now this is risky play. So he's going straight for central point. He knows there's a lot of smoke down there, which they've just laid down themselves. Got the tree, got the ditch, had a great scout of it, and that is a nice move in the end there. It's given them his little dip. The danger, of course, being in the dip is the grenades will just literally go in there like it's a golf hole. They'll just roll straight in there. That was a nice nade, though. Absolutely cooked to perfection. You're going to follow it through with a molly and finish him off. Sees the man in the open. Simple gun down with a Thompson. Meanwhile, his teammate has also taken one down on the left. And Pikachu, the last one standing, has managed to take him down. It's a simple one-on-one now. Massa knows exactly where he is, but it just whiffs the shot. And that gives his position away. I think Pikachu's healing up. Yes, he is. Just off the side, going to come over the brow of the hill. Pikachu doing the damage. Pikachu might be able to take him down, and Pikachu, would you believe it, comes out on top. Something I never thought I'd say in PUBG.
Oh, he had such good positioning as well and playing so well. Maybe just got a little bit too overconfident towards that back end. But right now we are on with Vichy. Vichy focus right here from Team 4. They got 4 kills, 8 alive with 4 teams as well. Quite a few scattered around the map. So he's basically just lying prone and seeing if he can get a visual on any of his opponents right now. Playing it nice and slow, trying to get that position because, again, the amount of kills they have is just not enough to gather enough points. So it is all about trying to slow play down and see if they can come out on top.
Yeah, as a solo, he's really got to try and work. You can see this is a 4-man team still up here, Team 1. We've seen a couple of these a couple of times over the weeks. So they're feeling pretty confident. They realize that maybe it is a couple of snakes in the grass that they are hunting. Of course, Vichy not to be mixed up with the Chinese powerhouse team. This is, of course, in the European coverage we're looking at right now. They are obviously busy in the PEL over in China. So 1 at the moment. I mean, this is all they're trying to do. They're trying to flush out. You can see what he's doing. He's aiming at basically the trees areas. Like, he's obviously getting the information from Valentine on the left there. He's saying, yep, he's at that tree. You can see he's just throwing that one at the left tree now. So he's throwing one at the right tree. Every tree he can find, he's trying to hit out. But that's all these nades done. So he's trying to flush out as many snakes as he can. He's also got mollies in there. Don't want to throw the smoke. Doesn't need to. Wants the cover himself. And you can see, look at the minimap. They have all the coverage. So it's simply a case of he's hopping. He's trying to get a vision of the snakes, literally looking for the backpacks. At this situation, generally you'll see players actually dropping the backpack, dropping everything they can apart from the ammo and the gun they've got.
It's very slow moving fun. So, oh, great pick off from Duck right there. That's a nice knock. Like you said, 4 alive. They're in a very advantageous position. 2 teams. It's
Look at the
literally
car.
a
Look at the car.
4v2.
Look at the movement.
Cars rushing around on the left-hand side to try and get a visual, trying to run over some of the snakes in the grass.
He's going completely around the edge of the blue circle. This is so well played by Rudy. He's just circling around, hoping that they're going to jump up. He finds one. Can he find the other? He's just running through all the snakes in the grass. Dux is going to join him. Oh my God, it's a catastrophe. Basically, they're just aiming at all the bushes. That's what they're looking for, and that's why it worked out for them. You love it.
Oh no. Very, very good way to close it out. Very entertaining for us, for our purposes as well. But we've got N6 now coming in hot. 0 team kills right now, so definitely playing for position, but it must have been quite a slow game. We are currently just sitting in this building, lots of coverage in this as we push towards, you know, the last few circles. Trying to get a few eyes on.
Okay, so he's just...
4 alive.
War Machine just smoked up across to the other building, the entrance to the building. So he's just given his teammates across the road, give them an opportunity to get out the door. So it looks like they want to go for a push here to try and come out of it. But this Luigi, or Lugia, over the side there is causing them a lot of problems. They still have 4 alive, so they're in a position, as you say, you know, 3 different snakes out there that they have an idea on. I'm really interested to see. So he's throwing the smoke out. His teammates must be moving out there. So it's the only reason he would throw the smoke out, to try and give his teammate opposition. They've gone, it looks like they've gone 2-2 in each house. Tell a lie. Okay, yeah, so there you go. So I just got a glimpse. You can see that he's pushed up. He wasn't there a moment ago. So he's pushed out of the house compound. So they realize there is somebody in this low blue house here, which is what War Machine's looking for right now, trying to aim it up, get a little spray through the windows, has a little peek through the top windows to see if there's any snakes creeping in. You can see the blue is moving right now. Oh, big nade catching him. Didn't quite take him down, though.
And nearly gets taken down, but still managing to med himself up. It's all good. 4 alive. There's a 4v1v1v1. Literally just trying to stay alive and just make the numbers count at this late stage in the game. Lugia, like you've mentioned, is just chilling out there, but they know exactly where he is. Great map knowledge, great map awareness of knowing where their opponents are. But look at that circle.
Yeah, that's harsh.
They are going to have to push out of the circle here, D-Man. Push out of the building.
I mean, it's the other side of the road, so there is a big ridge line there, so that's why they're moving now. They realize they've got to deal with the guy in the back here, which is why they're suddenly getting very aggressive. They know that there's somebody in this house. You can see 2 going around the back door, 1 in the front, 2 of them in the front. In fact, it is a full 4-man pincer. You love to see it. 2 in the front, 2 in the back. Absolutely well executed there by N6, so really well played for them. Considering they've only had 3 kills so far, I do wonder, with 3 kills, if they've been in this compound perhaps from the start. It's a possibility that the circle look has gone their way, and now they've actually need to be active. Generally, when you see 4 alive at this stage, that's probably how the game has played out. But they do have 1 to the left-hand side. Yeah, they don't realize there's 1 down the hillside. Now they do. Gonna get the spray down. Will finish him off. Lugia was also taken down by the 2 teammates, so N6 will pick up the win there.
We are on with Team Brave now. 6 team kills, 6 alive. 3 teams. Looking pretty strong. Advantageous position for Brave as well. And we're just going to have to wait and see. They're holding this ridge line up at the top. We're on Miramar right now. And this is a pretty solid position they need to be in. They don't really need to move anywhere too swiftly. Just need to keep an eye on, keep comms alive. Let each other know where the opponents are. But yeah, pretty advantageous position at the top of the hill here, D-Man.
Yeah, and judging by the circle, it looks like it's been one of those that a lot of people probably committed to Los Leones. It's generally when you see the circle at this stage, and then it's slowly drawn out of the city. So I would not be surprised to have seen in this game there's been a lot of action down in Los Leones. And the danger is, of course, when you commit to a city, if it pulls out of the city like it has here, it's such an open run to get out of there. You're so visible to absolutely everyone. And right now, obviously, they're sitting very pretty on top of this hill. They're just checking the backs of the hill, making sure they're not getting crept up on. Nobody's sneaking in there, which is what they're doing. But the problem is, as they're doing this, look at the minimap. They're actually losing ground at the front because the team that was down there, the orange team, has actually made some moves and got closer up the hillside in towards pretty much the center point of the circle.
They've allowed a small push from this other team. What is going to happen here?
It's
Remember,
Vici
we've got
again.
3 teams up. Oh, it's Vici again. Here we go. I'll tell you what I'd like to see, though, D-Man. I'd like to see if you're at the top of this, why not get out the Car 98? Look, the cheeky little buff for the reload speed has made the snipers a little bit more viable, but you just don't tend to see it at this level.
It's the bolt actions. I mean, the bolt actions of it's always been a long drawn out debate of like, is it worth it with the bolt actions? Sometimes, yes, if you are like the best player in the world and you can hit those shots shots, which you'll often see, the top players doing, then yes, you can get away with it. But more often than not, especially at this range, you're better off with some form of an assault rifle, which we're seeing here with the M4, and you can see most of the AKs and the M4s sort of in and around here. Focus, he's kind of knows where you are, son. I don't know whether he just saw maybe some of the backpack peeking out there, but absolutely no dead rights. But the problem is, look at this, they're focused so much, they've missed out, and there's one guy over to the left-hand side of their flank, so they've got to be careful of him. Enema has no clue about it. This is the far left position. There is one person to his left right now. He is absolutely zeroed in on this position. Now he's going to check the back, look for the buggy, and try and drive down, because you see, 7th circle is centered up, and it has pulled away from this hillside.
Oh, just taking them away from that position that they had held for so long. And Vici are just waiting it out. Let's see where the circle goes, and let's see if it works in our favor. And it slightly has. It's brought them down to the same level. Now it's going to be all about how good cover can you get and team communication. Let's see how it plays out.
Yeah, close quarter combat like this is really tricky, and as you say, communication can be a big part of it if you've got multiple angles covered, because so often you could just walk around a corner and get completely by surprise that somebody is there. And at the moment, they have allowed, I think it just saw him on the left there. It's Chubby, B2B Chubby. There we go. He's the one that's sneaking in. So he could be the effectively the elephant in the room if they don't deal with him, because he has a bit of an off angle, actually more in favor. Okay, you can see Red actually has a clue. So they know somebody's out there, and it's actually Vici that's dealt with him. So Focus will take him down, and now it's simply a 3-on-2. They can't be over-aggressive on this. They have the circle. It may be a case of wait for the 8th circle to pop and see exactly where it's going to be.
And I'm in a really good position there. Another one gets taken down. Vici Pool gets taken down. This is looking like it could potentially be the last one. They're just going to make a push for it. They're going to get aggressive, go towards Focus, try to prevent Focus from getting to his teammate. Here we go, strafing left and right. Got the Tommy gun out. Thanks very much. GG. Match ended. What a performance there by Brave. Incredible. Just right up to the very end, showing how nades are so important towards that end as well, but also knowing when to push, knowing when to get aggressive, and just biding your time towards the back end of there, D-Man.
Yeah, I just got to feel that Vici maybe got a little impatient and over-peaked. Like at that stage, yeah, you need to be aware of your surroundings, but to get caught out and popped like that before the 8th circle is a bit criminal, I'm afraid. I hate to say it, but it is. So well done to Brave.
Well, to keep up to date with everything happening with the ESL Mobile Open, don't forget to put !social in the chat, and you can follow all of our channels and keep up to date with all of your favorite teams, clans, and all of the titles that we're involved in. But coming up after the break, we've got Clash Royale.
ESL Mobile Open is brought to you by DHL and Pay Safeguard.
The Clash Royale leaderboard has had some noticeable changes this week, with a few fan favourites steadily climbing the ranks and a few losing their cool. A large variation of number of matches as well being played. We have to mention this D-man. Destroyer has played over 150 matches now. I mean, insane.
Insane. Meanwhile, Game Freak TV has actually not even bothered playing this week. He's still sat at the top of the table, so he's just like, I don't even need to play. 16 games is all he needed, but yeah, 100 plus games. Some of these people are grinding.
They really are grinding their way up the leaderboard. Quantity over quality. David Rooney has actually managed to slip up the leaderboard. He's stepping up his game, along with Poldy and Potato and Cenk Aslan, all making it into the top 8, D-man.
Yeah, actually done really well. I mean, I think he was 4th last week, if I'm not mistaken, 5th or 4th, has worked his way up there. Poldy as well, actually done very well. And a couple of new faces up there as well, the likes of Potato in there and Lucas.
But Inaraj, who was top of the leaderboard momentarily, then slipped down to 2nd, is now in 12th. I don't know if he's had a pretty tough week this just past gone. And also King in 16th as well. And Sasa, who we had in the first week, has slipped down to 9th, but still top 10. Nothing to worry about right there, but just needs to try and creep up the ladder that little bit more coming into the final week. But we're also going to see a revenge match in this segment right here, because we've got two players that really like to go head to head. And we're going to open things up with Cenk Aslan versus Destroyer, D-man.
Yeah, so interesting game. Obviously, as you mentioned, we got 2 matches back to back here between these two teams. Very different decks as well shown between them, and very different games, in fact, in fairness, Banks, because obviously we've had the benefit of looking at it. As you can see, good old Mortar starting things off. We've seen the Mortar be very effective. Last week we saw some incredible action from the Mortar, but this time obviously not going to get a great deal. The good old Miner comes out there just to get a couple of hits in, and the Zap is instantly out to respond.
They are. It's very useful, I think, having the Miner. We've seen the Miner being used a lot. Just getting that chip away damage. He's never going to put on a crazy amount of damage, but just to tick away while your opponent is trying to attack, or just maybe on the sneak as well before they manage to deploy some defensive troops. It's always a nice little cards to have in your back pocket, I think, D-man.
Absolutely. So the Goblin thrown down there is the guards coming out. They will force the push. The thing with the problem with the guards is the spread of where you put them down. Often, it's all about positioning. Let's face it, in Clash Royale, you want to place the units in as best a position as you can to try and get them in the right place. But when they have such a huge spread that generally they're always going to split both towers. So it's more a case of a distraction. Speaking of distractions, out come the Royal Hogs, but that is quickly put paid to. The Valkyrie will get picked off as well here. You can see not going to get any damage down. Unfortunately, the Valkyrie much more better defensive than attacking, but still very even. 1.5 minutes to go, just 100 hit points difference on the 2 towers.
Yeah, even if the Royal Hogs manage to get just a few hits off, they do deal a lot of damage. And to your point earlier as well, the Royal Recruits, when you drop them down, it basically just forces your opponent to go on the defensive, dropping down the Valkyrie as well to maybe help out with the defenses. But you're forcing out a defensive push so that they can't go on an all-out assault on your towers. But the Zappies coming in from Destroyer, along with the Royal Recruits once again, we're probably going to see a defensive side of the Royal Recruits because he dropped them so far back. But the Musketeer is the only one coming forward at the moment. Gives Cenk Aslan a little bit of time to gain that elixir as we go into the ×2 elixir, and the flying machine gets deployed as the Goblins get put down on the left to help defend this tower.
Big attack coming out here. The Valkyrie should put paid to the Recruits on the right-hand side. But you can see the Hogs, they're not going to get through because the Mortar gets put down, and that will distract them just about as perfectly as you can. Quick Goblins, low elixir spell just to throw down their low elixir card, sorry. And the Recruits once again going defensive, have to get rid of these Goblins. You can get good value out of those Goblins because obviously the tower has to hit them one at a time, so you have to go defensive on it. But that Valkyrie got put paid to very quickly. This time we see the Zappies being used offensively. It's the first time we've seen them used offensively by Destroyer, not using it to defend against that Miner.
Yeah, having the Valkyrie and the Musketeer in Cenk Aslan's deck is really, really crucial to defend against these Royal recruits. But if he manages to get a Valkyrie off in attack, which is kind of what he's doing right now on this left side, going towards Destroyer's tower, the Valkyrie deals so much damage that that's just going to be such a thorn in Destroyer's side. So the Valkyrie might get through this last Royal recruit. She gets taken down. But the Mortar picking away at the Royal recruits on the right.
You got that miner out once again. There is only a single Zappy this time, so he got a little bit more value out of it this time. You can see down to 1,500. Quick log going straight through. That's going to be a bar, but a couple of hogs coming through. The Royal Hogs quickly answered by the log, but they're going to get a lot of damage down here. There is a Valkyrie there, so it should be able to slow them down, but it just managed to get it down to 1,000. And don't forget, we're already in overtime here, so time is ticking. The recruits once again go down. That miner continuing to plug away. This time the Valkyrie is going to get, looks like 3 hits off on the left tower.
Yes, that was strong from the Valkyrie. The Royal Hogs, the main benefit of the Royal Hogs is that they're so quick. They are super quick troop to be able to close down the gap to get towards the enemy's tower. But using the Fireball there as well to try and add additional damage down to 842 on that left side tower for Cenk Aslan. 60 seconds left on the clock, times 3 elixir. Now it's time to go whole hog. Here we go. The miner going to be taken out on the right-hand side. The Musketeer getting a few pot shots off, but the Royal recruits are there in defense along with the Zappies, and now they're going to push forward towards the Mortar on the right-hand side.
Double Musketeer was a real tricky push there. That's going to be a good fireball. It's going to get damage on the tower and take down the goblins. The Zappy only going to get 1 shot off though, but look at the Hogs coming straight in. The fireball has to come in to try and slow them down. They don't quite get a hit off, which is unfortunate for them. Meanwhile, the miner's down. You can see the Zappy's quickly in response, but the miner again getting what, 2, 3 hits off in the same time. The Valkyrie going to push on the right-hand side. The fireball's coming through. The Hogs once again. It's down to 500 hit points on the top there. 800 hit points on the bottom. Which one will fall first? It looks like the attack from Aslan has fell short. 284. The Hogs trying to push on it. Whoa, the log comes through. Won't quite get the swing off. 1 more from the Swine. 166 points. The miner working away again. The fireball comes in. It's all down to hit points. And as you can see, Aslan will be the lowest. So Destroyer takes it, going to the tie, and that's really all about those last little attack from the Hogs. But then, of course, we go into the rematch.
Yes, exactly. What a match. Right down to the tiebreak. Incredible. So they decide to spin against each other once again. And we see the decks change up a little bit. We got Cenk Aslan coming in with the Tombstone, Tornado, Poison, Barbarian Babble, Ice Whiz. And we got Destroyer with the Witches, Baby Drags, Bats, Golem, and Skellies. So we're going to try and basically envisage what he's going to do. We've got the Golem on the left side, so the Golem is your tank. The Witches are your offensive, so basically create the tanking for the Witch so that the Witch can get at least a few pot shots off onto the towers. Baby Dragon as well there for backup, and all he's got in defense is the Ice Whiz, which is going to slow things down, and a Baby Dragon of his own. So fairly evenly matched here, as well as a Valkyrie once again for Cenk Aslan, D-Man.
And this gets the duplicate out there, so the second Baby Dragon, that's going to surely put a bit of damage down. They will take bait of the Baby Dragon, and you can see it's just a single tower. He's got nothing to defend against this. That's a lot of damage going down already down to 698 hit points. 2 minutes to go in this game. That is an incredible start for Destroyer. He really patiently built up there, and very well played by him. In the end, it's going to be a simple defensive job as well, because he's barely taking any damage.
Yeah, piling on the pressure early doors as well. Straight from the defense, we got the Ice Whiz coming up on this right-hand side. He's going to be met by a Lumberjack, who, once down, will drop a Rage, but nothing really with him right now. So we got the backup of the Baby Dragon to take out this Lumberjack on the right-hand side, and a Witch going to be pushing up as well to meet the Baby Dragon as it comes down. It's all about predictions, isn't it? Predicting what's going to happen with your enemy troops, what's going to happen with your troops pushing forward, when are they going to go down, what kind of time frame do you have? Do you wait for the elixir to build up and then you can drop a more powerful troop, or do you just go all out attack and hope that they will overwhelm your enemy's defenses, D-Man?
See how they can work it out with. Now we're down to a minute now, so we're going to hit that double elixir. And now, of course, here we go again. The Golem, the slow build-up play that works so well for Destroyer. And it's got that Rage. You can see the Rage potion in there with the Lumberjack. See whether that's going to work out. But the Poison coming down here. Poison's been working very well so far for Aslan. That's a nice little tornado to try and pull them out of the Poison. That was Destroyer that used that, by the way, to try and draw his troops out of the way of it. And now they just need to get some hits down. You can see 600 hit points. But unfortunately for him, he's not got a single hit off there. 534 hit points. So really all he netted was about 80 hit points in damage. Meanwhile, look on the right-hand side. The poison cloud down there once again as it drops. And that is putting a lot of damage down. The baby dragon putting damage down as well. 300 hit points. Even the skeleton got a little hit off there. 310 hit points. Very close as we go into overtime.
Cenk Aslan going to make use of those poison spells because he can just drop that right on that tower and see if he can just tick away some more and more damage as they get so close to taking out each other's towers. Baby Dragon and Ice Wizard dropped to basically defend this left side tower. He's been doing so well in defense this whole time, Cenk Aslan, after taking so many hit points in the beginning of this match. Baby Dragon down as well for Destroyer. Are they going to be able to take him down? The Ice Wizard doing a really good job here of slowing down Destroyer's Baby Dragon.
Poison's down
poison
once again.
drops
It's on the King as well as the right-hand turret down to 172. 441 he's attacking towards. There's nothing you can do against that poison right now. Just got to sit and accept it and hope this push works out. He's going to look like to be arrowing out the side there. No, it doesn't do a great deal of damage to the tower. You can see there. Just took 100 hit points off it. The poison goes down. Surely the poison will finish it off here. It will. And the poison comes out from Aslan. The revenge is sweet, no doubt about it, for Aslan. And they are two of the top players in the table right now facing off against each other.
Absolutely incredible performance from Cenk Aslan. And what two of the tightest matches that we've seen in a really long time. I mean, over these past few weeks, that is probably one of the closest matches I think that we've cast over. And what a brilliant way to kick things off with the Clash Royale. So we've even got a matchup between David Rooney and Lucas as well. So that's going to be really strong. But 2nd and 6th going head to head in our table. This is basically in order to chip your way up towards that first position, because David Rooney has really been putting in the hours, grinding it out, and putting in those numbers for the amount of matches played, as well as Lucas, really, D-Man.
Absolutely. Lucas, the Portuguese man as well. So it's the first Portuguese representative we've seen in the top of the table, whereas David obviously is from Italy. So, or David, I should say. And both a slow start. The snowball out. Just a slow little start to feel each other out. We're kind of back to normal now, right? This is what we expect, Banks. Just a slow build-up starts and wait till overtime, get that double elixir going maybe at 60 seconds, something like that. It does seem a slow build at this one.
Yeah, slow start. We've got the Mega Minion going up against the Baby Dragon. It's just about, you know, air and ground. Like, what are you going to prioritize? What do you think your enemy is going to be more vulnerable towards, the air or the ground attacks? And basically, the defending Ice Wizard is basically one of the most common things I think that we're noticing right now. The Mega Knight has obviously been used a lot coming down this right-hand side towards the Witch, but also the Witches being used in almost every single one we've seen. So maybe these decks are starting to become a bit more familiar and a bit more similar as we progress through these open ladder matches for Clash Royale. But look, the Golem just powers through, not even a care in the world to see if he can get there, but the Fisherman grabbing and activating the King's turret in the middle, which could be a nuisance for David Rooney.
Yeah, don't want anything drifting over to the left-hand side to get hit by that turret now. So definitely a problem. And again, we're seeing the snowball coming through. Baby Dragon being defensively used this time around. And as you're talking about that Frost Wizard being used defensively quite regularly, as I smashed my microphone, apologies to that, as I was getting quite excited about what I saw. 1363, so as you can see, 1,000 hit points damage already. Lucas looking very good against David Rooney here. Doesn't really seem to have much to attack. It's kind of relying on this Golem that we're going to see sort of coming down at the back here. With double elixir, obviously it will help. It's an 8 elixir spell. It's a big card to play out there, and you've got to hope that you got the elixir to back it up. The Baby Dragon's generally going to be used to help it out here, but at the moment he seems to be struggling to work his way through, and when the Fisherman hook comes like that, it throws him out of the way. Tornado used by David Rooney actually to try and draw his troops closer to the tower, but doesn't really get the damage down that he's looking for.
Committed a lot there, didn't he? A lot of elixir. And look, we've got a full frontal assault now from two Mega Knights. And we've got the Witch as well. I think that's the Mother Witch as well. Also with the Mega Minion pushing through. We've got the Graveyard spell being dropped on David Rooney's right side tower. Look at the damage going down. 852, 76, 279. Bosh. Lucas GSM. Well, 10 seconds actually left on the clock. I was about to say. 10 seconds left on the clock. It just doesn't look like David Rooney's got it in the tank.
We've been so used to seeing them going down in overtime, and we expect them to go out like that. But yeah, Lucas, honestly, controlled the match. That was not really that close a game, in all honesty, because David Rooney's attacks just were not working. They were not working. He was trying to stack it up behind the column, trying to throw everything in there, but unfortunately, there was just an answer for it every time from Lucas. And really well played, and I think we're seeing why he's actually crept up the table. Obviously, the Portuguese man is working well for him.
I think David Rooney being put on the back foot quite a lot was a big issue for him, but we're going in now with 4th in the ladder against 7th in the ladder. We've got Poldy versus Potato. Poldy coming in with the Skeleton Drags, Lava Hound, Baby Dragon, Loons. So Poldy is now going all-out attack in the air. Full-out air attack. And we've got Potato with the Flying Machine, the Royal Recruits that we've seen quite a lot, Royal Hogs, and the Fireballs. Is ground versus air. Here we go. Poldy is going to be in the air. Potato on the ground. It's time for the Hog to make the first push on the left.
He's actually going to get nearly 3 hits in as well. Just a single solo Hog. You just don't want to defend against it, but you know you got to take that damage. It's just one of those things that are going to come through. So let's see how this works out. 2 minutes to go. Has been a quicker build-up already than Lucas's game a moment ago. But as you say, going to be a lot of aerial combat, especially when that Lava Hound is involved. It's horrible to face against. The Pigs, though, coming through, he's committed all his elixir to putting this aerial attack on and hadn't realized the defensive power required. 386 hit points already. That tower almost gone in a single card.
Ooh, slow and steady for Poldy as he pushes up this left side. The Lava Hound is such a good tank for the Skeleton Dragons as well. And here come the pups to pile on the damage. Potato's going to need to get some form of defense out there to try and take them out, but it's just too slow on the mark. 688 all the way down. It's almost become an even game now, D-Man.
He needed it to work, Poldy, there, because he'd committed so much to that. He'd almost lost his first tower. And the arrows in the end actually saving him there. Often we'll see a lot of people favor the fireball, obviously a much smaller radius than the arrows will give. Once again, Lava Hound down left side. We know what Poldy wants to do here. The question is, will Potato react to it? The Royal Recruits coming out. It's the first time we've seen them being used by Potato here. So obviously 3-3. They can't do anything against the pup there. So we know there's a big aerial combat coming in. That's just simply to distract. But there's nothing stopping that Lava Hound hit the turret. And that, unfortunately, is going to get a lot of damage down here. But let's see what this attack can work out towards. There's going to be the arrows coming in. That stops it out. We know the Hound's going to pop the pups, and that tower is gone.
Ooh, as a final resort brings out the Zappies, but they just don't do enough. So now the attention's going to be drawn to the Mother Witch and then into the Kings. But yes, like you just said, the Hogs have now smashed their way down. 1 apiece. We've got 33 seconds left on the clock. How much damage can they deal now? The Hogs still up.
They've got a lot of damage done to the King turret. You can see they took 1,000 hit points off that. So the Hogs working really well there. Great Royal Recruits this time. He's going to manage to get the 4 stack on the right-hand side. The Fireball comes in. That's going to give them a chance to attack here. They need to deal with the balloons. There you go. Quickly throw the chest down. That's going to work its wealth in its favor. The Royal Recruits will get a couple of hits off here on the tower and the King's tower. So at 1-1, we're going into overtime.
The Inferno Baby Dragon is really strong. It just doesn't have, you know, the HP to be able to withstand any attacks. So the Mother Witch is going to take him out, but that beam is so strong that the 4 elixir points used, it's just great value to have the Inferno Baby Dragon. And here we go, Lava Hound, and as soon as it pops, the pups are going to come out and do a lot of damage. It's really even this match, T-Man.
Yeah, I just wonder whether Poldy's maybe overcommitting his attack. He's throwing everything at attack on this right-hand turret and kind of leaving his King turret to be a little bit defenseless. You can see it's down to 1,300 hit points. It's actually lower now than his right-hand turret until that rocket, it wasn't the rocket, it was the fireball that came through. Does manage to get the Barbarians out, the first time we've actually seen them. But now we see Potato going to commit for this one, see whether he can get anything going. But you can see that Lava, that's kind of been the backbone, effectively, of Poldy's attack every time. And it's been a struggle for Poldy to hold it back. Finally gets the Lava Pups out, but he is still under pressure.
Poldy was getting Potato was getting a huge amount of value from that flying machine just then, just popping shots off at the Lava Hound and the Inferno Baby Dragon. But here we got an assault coming forward with the Loon. 220. Potato's right-hand tower all the way down.
He just needs the arrows. The arrows are coming up next. He just needs to get a spell out and throw the arrows out there. Doesn't matter. The miner will pop out the back there, and Poldy takes it in the end there. I gotta be honest, I thought Potato may well sneak it, and actually I feel if maybe maybe Potato would have focused on the King turret. I think he'd have took it because he was working well. All he was hitting it with was the Royal recruits. They were just walking down because it's such a spread. And he was getting so much damage off it because Poldy was not defending it. But Poldy's aggression in the end counts and works.
Surely Poldy realised that if this goes down to a tie-break, we are losing. So we have to full front assault all the way down to this right-hand tower. And luckily, it helped out with the use of that loom. But don't forget, it's not too late to sign up for the ESL Mobile Open. So just put !sign up in the chat and follow all the instructions so you could go up against some of the best in the business in your esports. So we've got some scrappy matches to come up shortly from Brawl Stars right after the break.
ESL Mobile Open is brought to you by DHL and Pay Safeguard.
This week in Brawl Stars, we saw a team unexpectedly drop down the leaderboard with some surprise contenders making their way out of the woodwork. And also a return of D-Man's favourite Brits to the top 5. Isn't that right, D-Man?
Absolutely. The tea drinkers from it.
Oh, he did it. He did it. But we're going to have a quick look at the current standings of the leaderboard in Brawl Stars. But yeah, you will see a slight differential with some of the top teams that were in the World Championships last year. One of the finalists has actually slipped down the leaderboard, unfortunately. I mean, D-Man, it can happen to anyone, right?
Absolutely. I mean, we've seen it happen so many times in many across all the games we've been covering actually this week as well. But yeah, free agents at the top still. However, they have now lost the game, the same as the T-Drinks, but both dropping a game for the first time this week. They're the one and only game, 20-0-1 for free agents, 15-0-1 for the T-Drinkers. And yeah, it is surprising that SK Gaming are obviously slipping down as much as they have, but you know, they're still in 6th. They're still very much within touching distance, but you can see it's 100 ELO points. That's a lot of points to gain ground on. That's around about 3 or 4 wins they're going to have to get from top teams. They're not just, you know, teams that they play lower down.
We also had an impressive jump into the top 8 from FA Trio, and we'll see how they did it a little bit later on in this segment. But Blood Diamond Russia slipping down the ladder to 15th as well, which is a bit unexpected. They've been playing very well, but I mean, everyone can have a bad week, right, D-Man?
Yeah, they've had a couple of, I think it's about 4 losses this week. So it's about 4 losses, 3 wins. So it's kind of been an average week. The problem for them is that everybody else has gained ground on them. So obviously while they fell off, everybody's gained. And obviously it's been players and teams that they've come up against that are of the same elo. So unfortunately it means they've dropped the table.
Well, before we jump into the action, we're going to hear from Kirst from the leading team, Free Agents, to see how he's feeling about his team's performance in the ESL Mobile Open so far.
I'm Kirst, a 22 years old Brawl Stars player from Norway, and I'm playing for the Team EXO Free Agent alongside my teammates YD and Yoshi, which is from Denmark and Spain. My team play style is based a lot around team play, being on the same page. I would like to think we have a good combination of aggressiveness and playing passive, and that suits the situations better. So it's more like an all-around team that can adapt to any situation and take advantage of other team being out of balance and stuff. So yeah, I have a rounded team with a very diverse play style. So for this event, we have used it so far as more like of a scrim format. We just go into the ladder to get some practice, but obviously we're giving it our best, but it's more like I think we do on the go and adapt as we come across different opponents. So to my opponents, I would wish you all good luck. We're obviously not an easy team to beat, so yeah, we can put on a great show for the spectators as well as playing some good games. To my fans or our fans, I would like to thank you for all the support, and we will not let you down. We're taking this win for y'all. So yeah, stay tuned.
Kirst leaving it up to situational tactics being the reason why Free Agents are sitting at the top of the leaderboard, which is pretty impressive, adapting to whichever team they're playing against as well and utilizing the tactics amongst themselves. I mean, pretty impressive way to, you know, stay at the top against such stacked lineups in Brawl Stars, D-Man.
I like the mentality that they're taking. They're using it as like a scrim format, almost as like their live practice against tough opponents, which in effect, obviously it doesn't belittle the league. What it does is that they're coming into it without any fear. That's the fact. They're playing without any fear because they're playing it as we want to learn, we want to practice, we want to beat the best, and that's exactly what they're doing right now. 20-0-1 at the top of the table. Fantastic game for them, but they have lost that one game this week.
And I wonder which game we're going to be showing. Here we go. It's Free Agents versus FA Trio. We're starting off this clip 1-1. Who can get the tie-breaking goal? And we've got YDE sitting at the back, you know, chilling out at the back right here, trying not to get taken out by the aggressive FA Trio.
Yeah, the big difference between the two teams is the max, I feel, for Mammoth. Obviously, he did certainly very well. You can see he's just sprouting out onto Yoshi in the corner there, just smashes him down. Don't go for the goal, though. It's very impressive. Interesting that they didn't go for aggressive there, the Try Guys, because we were talking about the fact that, you know, obviously, while Free Agents have tried to play as passive as they can, and as you can see, they are playing pretty passive here, as opposed to the Free Agents trio. They're the ones being aggressive. They're the ones looking for the goal. They've had a goal apiece, so they don't want to go too much for this one. But now they finally get their chance. They have a chance to push on there. They get Mamet down. Calvin also under pressure. Madison, a.k.a. Kirst, who we just had on the interview there, looking to try and push forward the ball. And they try this little pass move. Doesn't quite pay off for them. There you can see YD puts it back across. Can't get the shot off. Mamet, in the end, gets the ball in the corner and saves the day.
Great defensive work there from Free Agents Trio. Absolutely incredible. Not managing to secure the dub there, but we move on to Gem Grab. And we can tell you this is the deciding group of matches. The Gem Grab is one apiece. We go down to Gem Grab to see who can clutch out this win. But we've got Madison, who is in fact Kirst, right in the middle, collecting up the gems. So we've got YDE and Yoshi, either side, putting on that pressure, but they're going to have to drop back a little bit. But if you have one on the left, one on the right applying the pressure, you're allowing your middle player, aka Madison, to secure these gems and just keep ticking away. And so you can just keep securing them as long as you can stay hidden on this left and right side.
And you just saw YDE taking away the cover in the mid there, actually. That's what he's trying to do. Trying to work it down, snipe off as much as he can, leaving the cover himself, and you can see just how it's effective it's being here, because they are collecting the gems up quite freely at the moment. 6-1 as we see a little push on the right hand side here. Both Calvin and Mammoth going for it, forcing Yoshi on Max out of position, forcing him backwards. Meanwhile, ASAP on the left hand side also going aggressive. They try and dive in onto Madison, doesn't quite work for him. ASAP surviving just about, but they did manage to nab away 5 gems in the process.
Interesting use by YDE, using the character Amber with the fire torch. We don't really see her too much in the Brawl Stars competitive scene, in the ESL Mobile Open especially, but we've got Cursed still clutching up these gems. Look, he's got 8 gems in the back pocket. They just need to keep protecting Madison. Keep protecting in the middle. Don't let him get too aggressive, because then you're risking all of those gems that you've got. So the other 2 are basically your bodyguards. Madison needs to track back.
Yeah, YDE is causing so many problems. He's actually pushed around that side and taken away all the cover. Madison will catch Calvin out there, and you can see there's a lot of gems loose at the moment. Yoshi's looking to try and push on that. We'll go for Mammoth, but it's on 100 hit points, just about survives. The gems are going to get hoovered up in the end. Calvin on the respawn will get back in there, and now it's 9-8 in favor of the trio. And really, this has all come about from just that slight aggression. YDE, he's trying desperately to push. That's going to take it to the 10 marker for Madison, so he's managed to take it to the limit. Now it's all on Trio. Will they push? Will they go for this? There is one man on 10. It's Madison. He's on 1,300 hit points. They're going to hit the ulti there for Sandy. Calvin's going looking for it. Goes invisible. They don't really know where he is. That's going to catch Madison off guard. That's the gems now loose. It stops the timer for a second. They're going to get the respawn off now. The timer, they get collect them, but it's 11-11. It's tied.
It's literally Calvin versus Yoshi. Who can down Calvin or Yoshi first?
Got the one.
Using the Sandstorm once again, but they've got the one. It's 12-11 right now. They're just sitting in the middle trying to collect up those gems and manage to secure. Now you just need to protect. Keep the protection on with Calvin at the back. We've got the push up from the left-hand side from Amber. Manages to secure the kill. Oh, hoovering up those gems yet again.
10-0, there's 13
right
gems
side.
down there. 13 gems. They have to pick them up. That will stop the timer as soon as they collect them all up there. Now they stop the timer and they turn the timer in their favor. And now it can swing it that way. So it's back on again to the free agents. Such a clutch game right now at the moment. They've got to make sure those gems are safe. And you can see 14 gems on Calvin. 13 for the free agents. If they actually went back and got that gem, they'd be fine. But no, 15 and count it. They managed to get the main man down. And Trio in the end pick up what was an incredibly tight match between them and the #1 team right now.
Oh, Yoshi just had to push up that right side. It was unfortunate, but he had to go up there to try and secure the kill on Calvin, and it just did not happen. But we're back in to the second round of Gem Grab to see if FA Trio can close this one out, D-Man.
Very tight and very much differences as well. You can see YD is switched over to Sandy now. He was using, obviously, Amber in the previous matchup. Other than that, no changes for them and no changes for their opposition either. Gene, Sandy, Tara, very much the popular choices throughout Gem Grab.
Yeah, Sandy definitely using the Sandstorm. Her super is just so OP when it comes to gem grab as well. Being able to hide your teammates as they push to try and collect those gems is really, really important. So I think that they maybe missed out on not using her and using Amber instead. Free agents, that is.
Oh, YD committing a little too deep there, straight into Calvin. Does it cost them anything? It should be able to cost them a gem or two. It absolutely will do. You can see the 2 gems in the center there. ASAP actually going very aggressive here, looking for YD and manages to get him straight away in and out. The pressure on the right-hand side as well from Mammoth. And ASAP does commit, but it doesn't matter. He's not the one that's going to be carrying the gems. He's the one that's quite happy to go aggressive. Meanwhile, so keep your eye on Madison as well. He's the designated gem carrier, if you were. The man that has to stay safe, while YDE and Yoshi will go aggressive.
YDE pushing up this left side. Don't push up too far because they're taking pot shots into the grass on the left side to basically just try and signify, oh, and he goes down. There you go. Don't push up too hard because they will figure it out. They know where you are, even though you think you're hidden. Sandstorm being used once again to try and collect up some of these gems. 8 gems in the back pocket of Calvin. 9 gems make that. Managing to just sit over where the gem is spawning. There's the 10th red team countdown. They're going to have to go on the aggressive now, free agents.
Mammoth went a little deep, but they know by the time they get back, he will get the respawn off there. So Yoshi's pushing as hard as he can, as well as ASAP comes around the side. He gets Ace, YDE down. Oh no, that's Yoshi picked off as well, and Trio will take it in succession. 16-0 in the end. A dominant finish to the Gem Grab, sorry. And more importantly, the first defeat. The very first defeat we see in the ladder for the free agents.
Free agents are human indeed. That meant that FA Trio managed to get all of those points and managed to jump up into the top 8. FA Trio, congratulations to them once again, GG. But don't forget, you can follow us on socials to keep up to date with everything happening in the ESL Mobile Open. Just put !social in the chat, give us a follow, and you can stay updated. It's incredible what we've got coming up next as well. It's going to be Clash of Clans after the break.
Feel the light, see the stage, hear the vibe. Pumped up to get ready for the fight. Big dreams, one chance, be the star. I'm the winner coming out of the dark. No fear, getting ready for the ride. Yeah, stepping into the light. No limit, aim high. No limit, the prize is mine.
Step out as a motivator. Let them know that the wait's up. That's how we know when we level up. Hey, that's how we know when we level up.
Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? You know we fall and we get up. Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? It's time, get up.
Back against the wall, still I'm standing tall. Know about the ball, I got my fan with me. All we know is ball to empty out the mouths. The chosen one they call, I take my fan with me. Know about it if you tell, know you breaking codes. What your credibility and all fall like dominoes. Can you really take a stance? All I wanna know. Need me real ones when it's time to go. Stepping in, elevator, listen to all the haters. That's all we know when we level up. Yeah, that's all we know when we level up.
Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? You know we fall and we get up. Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? It's time, get up. I found out I'm not alone. 'Cause I'm just like you. There's no failing when we fight. We're not afraid to. Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? You know we fall and we get up. Level up. Together.
ESL Mobile Open is brought to you by DHL and Pay Safeguard.
Clash of Clans has come forward in leaps and bounds into the mobile esports realm. There's so many incredible clans out there, and it's great to have the mobile open right now as they all adapt to the new meta, D-Man.
Yeah, that's the greatest part. The fact that Town Hall 14 came out just as we started in week 1. It's sort of that's caught everyone on the hop effectively. So everybody's trying to adapt to it. We've been talking about pets being used by different heroes. And the meta really is just shifting left and right. Everyone's trying to figure out what's the best way to play, not only to attack, but also to defend.
Well, to give us some insight into the tactics of the top 5, here's Tricky from OneHive.
Hi, my name's Tricky. I'm team leader and manager of OneHive. We're competing in the ESL EU Mobile Open, and I've got a really strong European team for this. Our team's play style, OneHive do quite a mix of attacks, probably more ground attacks. We like to, in the current format where you can attack anytime during the war, we like to try and put the pressure on early. So attack early on and then fingers crossed and watch our defense hopefully bring the win home. So yeah, very much trying to lead out on the front foot. A bit more ground centric at the moment in the current meta, and get as many triples on the board as early as we can. How have we prepared for this event? One of the biggest pieces is farming. We needed to get our bases upgraded. Town Hall 14's just been released, so we've been focused on getting as much loot as we can and getting our upgrades completed. The ladder's brutal at the moment. There's so many strong teams in the European division. And one win, you fall right down the ladder. One loss, you fall right down the ladder. One win, you go up. So I'd say the main thing is, just hopefully if we match you, hopefully we get the win and you guys get the loss, because the points are critical at the moment. Big shout out to the One Hive fans. Keep following Eric if you want to watch our wars and see our streams. And we appreciate your support, and follow us on Game On, where we're posting some of our content from the rest of the team as well.
Some knowledge being dropped on the new meta from Tricky from One Hive. Things are starting to get back into the swing of things as well, considering some of the clans that we've spoken about last week. And as we approach, looking at the leaderboard right here, we're going to see that the world champs are now back in second place, going from second to 26th, and now back to second.
And just 2 points behind MCES. As you can see, MCES have had 2 losses actually this week. They're 6-2, but yeah, 11 wins straight for Alternate Atax. They've been busy this week, 2-5 last week in comparison. Carnage Gaming also rising up a little bit, 6 wins for them. One Hive, we just heard from Tricky there, 4 wins for them this week, and the Silent Snipers, they're 4-2. So Tribe, unfortunately, they're one of the teams that have fell down the wayside a little bit here, actually losing out to both Underdogs and Ink, who are obviously now both above them.
Still like jumping up and down the leaderboard. Still everyone trying to find their feet with the new meta. It's really interesting to see, and really fortunate that we get to witness it during the ESL Mobile Open. But we got 2 of the powerhouse German clans as well. Nolex and Dark Unicorns sitting in 13th and 14th. Dark Unicorns slipping down quite significantly, but they just had a bad week. They're going to bounce back. We all bounce back. Aphelion in 15th as well, they had a bit of a ropey start.
They played everyone at the start.
They played everyone, exactly. And Penta actually slipping down out of the top 10 as well. So a really interesting leaderboard so far with Clash of Clans as we approach, the final stages of this open ladder. That, it's going to be interesting to see how it closes out, D-Man. Absolutely.
So, and it's like you say, it's great to see the fact that we're getting to see the meta evolve effectively on our screens right in front of us. We just heard obviously Tricky talking about the fact that it's kind of ground based at the moment. Obviously we had a lot of lava loons before, was kind of like the way that everybody was going with the Lalos constantly being spammed, but with the changes, it's really about obviously the pets coming into it is a big part. The Yak has been a massive addition, I feel, for certainly some of the heroes. Obviously the big tanky meta that comes with it, but I'm interested to see how it's going to go, because obviously we saw Lassie last week as well. So with the Unicorn, I expect to see with the King once again. And okay, so we're back to standard meta this time for Remio, it looks like.
We've got top of the leaderboard right here, MCES, and we've got Remio coming in with a Lalo and using the Ice Golems as well. Very, very impressive start as well, using the Skelly spells and an invisibility spell to take out the scatter shot in the middle. What an impressive vision right there. It's just take apart one of the most important defenses in people's builds, using another invisibility spell right there with the Royal Champion to clear out this compartment. He's going to throw the Seeking Shield to try and get as much value as he can out of the 2 Inferno Towers as well. Royal Champion's still up. She's going to go down shortly, unfortunately, to the Wizard Tower and the multi-target Inferno, but great amount of value as we start off with the King and the Ice Golem from up top.
He's cleared out the corner, so trying to get the sweeping sort of L shape effectively, but I don't think it's going to quite work as planned. Maybe, I don't think he ever expected to get that second Inferno deep in, so I think he's quite happy with what he got. And obviously we're seeing the King coming in there, the Yak as well with the Princess. You love to see it. That's kind of what we expected, honestly, throughout there with the Unicorn paired out with the King. So the King doing the damage, obviously the Unicorn healing away in the back there. So Lava Pups popping out, trying to get the damage down, but will get cleared out quite easily.
King pops his abilities. He goes into this topside compartment after taking down the Queen.
Okay.
Yak might go down.
He's okay. He pulled back. He pulled back
around.
around.
To rejoin the King, but the King goes down. The Queen is still up though. Don't worry. You've still got the DPS from the Queen, who's going to try and take out the enemy King as the Stone Slammer pushes in. Now this is a really interesting use of the Stone Slammer from Remio, because he's going to get so much value from it. Takes out the Builder Hut right there, pushes his way down, manages to take out the multi-target Inferno. Bombs come and try and basically take down Stone Slammer, but still got loads of health left. Takes out the Expo, and starting with the Grand Warden from the bottom of your screen with the the Lalo portion, coming in with so many loons. And once that Stone Slammer pops, you know what's going to come out of it? More loons. There's going to be a sea of loons and haste spells being popped along as we get this nice L shape at the back end here, D-Man.
And obviously with the tower going, the town hall going down, the poison will pop out, but that doesn't really matter, of course, to the loons that are just going to drift on above it. And we see the Grand Warden quite happily working his way along. And look at that. As you can see the base, there's not a lot left. That's going to be a simple mop-up duty for Remio. And it will be a 3-star attack for him. But Banks, it's not a war that they won.
I know. Tribe Gaming managed to come out on top of this war. This was a particularly strong attack, though, from Remio. An absolutely beautiful Lalo with so many loons up at the end. The only splash damage that was really left from Kronos's defenses was a wizard tower. So an extremely impressive attack from Remio. Great triple. But yes, like you mentioned, D-Man, Tribe Gaming managed to come out on top. So as we progress out of that war, we're going to jump into another one, which is 11 Original versus ATN Attacks, D-Man.
Absolutely. So, as you can see, it is Bum from Alternate Attacks, or Boom, as I should call him, get his correct name out there. But, yeah, obviously 11 Original, you know, they've got players everywhere these days. Actually, I think 11 Original are now named as Team Elevate in the ladder. I may be correct in that one, but I think they've had a name change, not to be mixed up with the Rainbow Six organization. It's a very different Elevate, but yeah, Alternate Attacks, we were talking about the fact that they've had an 11-0 run this week, so it really has been a surging comeback after their 2-5 last week. We're a little concerned. Perhaps they were maybe just a little slow in getting some upgrades out there. Obviously, we heard from Tricky talking about the fact that they've been looting like crazy to get their upgrades done as quickly as possible. Maybe that's what's been happening with Alternate Attacks, but it seems that they've definitely found their feet this week.
Yeah, we got Team Captain Boom coming in. They're one of the most strong players, unbelievable, using these invisibility spells well. And for those of you who may be wondering which kind of attack style this is a super wizard blimp. He had the blimp coming in early days and dropped it down. When the blimp popped, he got the super wizards coming out of it, dropped the invisibility spell and dropped the rage spell so that you can get as much value. And the entire left side of the base was basically taken out by the super wizards. But now we got the king coming around the outer edge. We've got the queen and the invisibility spell. Town Hall goes down, and we got a lot of value from the heroes so far, particularly from the Royal Champion, D-Man.
Absolutely, the rage working perfectly there, wasn't it? And now come the loons as well, so they're just going to come in all around on this south edge and push on through. You can see there's a lot of Teslas up in the top corner there, though, so they're going to be dealt with. You can see the extra loon's going to get dropped just right on top of them, so there's not going to be enough damage to take them down. You can see the extra loons will just go across. Really well executed. Free spell going down on the multi-inferno there just to slow it down a little bit in the damage that it's dealing, as the loons will just carry on sweeping through the base.
Yeah, having those haste spells and those freeze spells in the back pocket for the Lalo portion for the loons with the Grand Warden is so crucial. And I mean, look how many loons, lava pups, minions, Grand Warden, look at them all up, manages to swag the haste spell in the middle of the base for the back end.
How rare is it you get to see the final building being that little center building? They've swept around the entire base really nosely and just left that one central building to be taken down. So very nicely executed there by Boom.
I mean, imagine being in that middle building, closing in around you like, oh, I think this one's a triple. So moving on, we go through to Silent Snipers. Performing extremely well at the moment. They're currently 4th in the leaderboard, going up against silver members, and we got Eve Rico coming in hot from Silent Snipers with a super witches with a warden walk. So I'm going to enable this myself. I'm going to call it the super triple W. I feel like I want to coin this term myself, but starting off with a warden walk is always a little bit dangerous because of time. If you're going to use super witches and you're going to use the Grand Warden for the main portion of this attack, you'll have to be time conscious. Jump spells are your friend, D-Man.
I love the fact that you're getting to name these things. I don't know whether Jingo's going to quite agree with you. Well, the name of it, maybe. We'll get him on the phone and see exactly how he feels about the naming of the policy there. But But either way, it's always the bonus of when you get to cast the very first sort of metas and figure out how the metas are going to be. You can throw your own name in there, just coming out. So what was this? The Super Triple, you calling it?
Super Triple W.
Super Triple W.
Super Witch's Warden Walk.
Right, okay. Just rolls off the mouth, or off the tongue there, really, doesn't it? But
I know a lot of people are going to say this is a Warden Walk with Super Witches. That's what they're going to say. Like, no, it's not. Come on.
No, it's so much difference.
So different. But yeah, here we go with the Super Witches on the bottom side of the base, pushing in with the big boys. Loads and loads of DPS and value from these big boys. They'll stay up for a really long time. Managed to drop down the Rage spell to speed things up and get that extra power to take down the Town Hall. And as we approach this multi-target Inferno, you see he's dropped the jump spell to go into the middle compartment. He's got one more jump to drop probably into that left corner compartment where the Eagle is. And look at the top side of your screen to the right. You've got the King with the Yak.
Yeah, absolutely smashing his well through as well. Needed to rage it up, so managed to get the multi-inferno down that was in there. At the moment, though, you can see, as you mentioned, the jump. There we go. Over they go. Over the walls, working well. The Princess is just going to carry on through into the centre. Now we also have a couple of units dropping from the north side as well. Just slightly off the screen, you can see the Royal Champion up there. He's starting to make things work on the Inferno turret. So really is a very clean attack from Rico this time around.
Yeah, Royal Champion goes down to the single target Inferno. Doesn't quite get it down. Maybe the Hogs will be able to get it down. Let's see if they can. Okay, Hogs take it down. Meet a Giant Bomb, though, because the Giant Bomb's going to take them out. However, pushing into this left side compartment, you've got the Queen, full health. Yeah, and you've also got the Queen's ability still, and you've got the Grand Warden. So this is going to be absolutely decimated. Queen's ability gets popped to take down the remaining defenses. Going to take down this Wizard Tower up top. Might be the last one up, actually. Mortar goes down. Now it's time to clean up around the outer edge. You've got the cannon up top. King comes down from the top side as well. The King is still up. Do not forget, as you might not have been able to see him on your screen. And look, it is just time for cleanup. We've even got a few Super Witches still up.
Yeah, the healers is spreading across really nicely. I was just watching that, actually. The Super Witch just getting healed up nicely by the back there instead of just sticking to the Queen. So it was really well executed once again from Rico there. Formerly of a level original, as you can see with his Eve tag.
Some fantastic attacks from this week's wars and a lot of variety implemented as well. Great to hear some of the team captains who are currently pushing as well for that top spot on the leaderboard. But that's it. Week 3 is now over. D-Man, do you have anything that stuck out for you this week?
It's great to see the free agents finally get a loss. I mean, not that I like to see them getting a loss, but it's nice to see that they're not unbeatable. You know, they're having a great performance. It was great to hear from them as well. I really like to hear from Tricky as well, hearing about how the meta's been going. Obviously, we're seeing alternate attacks getting 11 wins back-to-back, which is pretty bonkers in itself. So they've been grinding the games this week, but really interesting to see how the meta continues to shift week on week in Clash of Clans.
It's good to see also in PUBG Mobile, we had some awesome usage of the vehicles towards the back end of one of those matchups from Brave, Team Brave, who an absolutely stellar performance from them. But don't worry, Asphalt 9, Clash of Clans, Brawl Stars, Clash Royale, and PUBG Mobile will all return later this week. On Friday, we're going to have another ESL Mobile Open weekly recap. It's just going to be on Friday instead of Monday next week, followed by the play-ins, which is going to be in Brawl Stars and Clash of Clans. So make sure you stick around for that. Or what you could do is you could put !social in the chat. You can follow us and stay up to date with everything that's happening as we progress towards Friday. But thank you so much to my co-host D-Man for bringing the thunder this week. Awesome job, buddy. And thank you so much to the production team at ESL for making this show possible. It's a wicked recap show. And thank you so much for creating it. My name is Banks, and I'll see you next time.
never ready for it.